All right, I am now recording myself researching McDonald's for our extensive McDonald's podcast, which we're going to have to do. Oh, McDonald's. McDonald's Corporation is an American fast food company founded in 1940 as a restaurant operated by Richard and Maurice McDonald in San Bernardino, California. We're on. United States. They re-christened their business as a hamburger stand and later turned the company into a franchise with Golden Arches logo being introduced in 1953 at a location in Phoenix, Arizona.
There we go.
And
all right, good morning, everyone.
Things. Look at this shit.
Welcome to the Bro Show.
History, corporate overview, products, restaurant treatment of employees, animal welfare standards. This is the video essay. I'm not on video essay territory yet. I'm not Frederick Knudsen. I can't do a down the rabbit hole episode of McDonald's.
We're not doing. That's
How am I going to do this in 2 episodes?
That's
I don't know what to do, John.
That wasn't the whole idea. That's about being funny. Anyway, everybody,
Today's
episode is about the greatest metal frontman of all time.
Fuck that. Let's do it like Josh's idea. Josh wants to talk about the extensive comic book universe of the Colonel Sanders. Especially his team-ups with DC. You know he teamed up with Green Lantern? There's a crisis in Infinite Colonels. Yeah.
No.
You remember that commercial where
No.
Remember that with the Star Wars prequels?
OMG.
Colonel Sanders was a Jedi?
No.
I'm very tired.
No.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So... What are we doing? Top 10 heavy metal frontmen. Right?
Frontmen.
Okay.
So, for those who don't know, the frontman is not just necessarily the lead vocalist of a metal band, but this is the person that engages the show. In hip-hop, the MC not necessarily has to entertain the audience themselves. He has a hype man. While in metal, the vocalist tends to be the hype man himself. There is no hype man. The actual vocalist is supposed to be the hype men themselves. So that's where the name the frontman came from, because they're the ones that are getting the show going and everything. So we'll start off with
I like 10. Metal music. I like metal music. I know a lot about metal music. I know all the charts. Oh, he died. Tiny Tim passed away in 1996. We were talking about Tiny Tim earlier and how weird John thinks he is. And I mean, he's kind of weird dude. His real name's Herbert Boutros Carey, or Corey. Yeah, he passed away in 96, unfortunately. He was old. He was like...
Okay, he's not 64. A great frontman. Okay.
Well, he is...
Who was on your list?
Oh, I'm going first?
Yes.
Why am I going first?
You always go first.
Why do I... Okay. Hi. I know a lot about metal music and chart numbers and things, and yeah. My number 10, speaking of someone who's passed away, is Chester Bennington of Linkin Park. Rest in power. I have less. I feel like this is similar to my heavy metal list in that it's a lot of the same people, except I swatch people around a bit. Like a certain person who I felt like probably should have been on my list last time, but like on the heavy metal list that I didn't put. Ever like, all right, I'm gonna redeem myself by putting this guy there. But like I feel like just with Chester, I really love Linkin Park. I feel and Chester is one of those guys that like just even growing up listening to Linkin Park in high school was like they were. It just spoke.
Linkin Park is that old already, huh?
Well, we're old.
I know.
Yeah,
I just didn't.
I got great
realize.
Gray hair.
I mean, I wasn't in high school. I already graduated.
I don't feel like I'm old. I feel like I'm 15. I still feel like I'm 15.
You act like you're 15.
Yeah, I know. I'm forever young. Forever.
And I've known him since he was 15. And nothing changed.
No. I just got fatter, and I went to the military, and that didn't help. And the place I'm working at has really big bullfrogs because I'm working in this like neighborhood that's like a swamp, and there's all this cool wildlife. They did giant frogs, so fucking cool. Anyway, that has a lot to do with my topic. Anyway, but Linkin Park like spoke to me a lot. It felt a lot of the music felt very like personal, like his own personal demons. relationship problems. And it just kind of resonated with that high school mindset. You feel like the world's always against you, and his scream was the voice of that. And then of course you learn about the guy and learn about a lot of the personal struggles he's going through, and you kind of grew to love the guy. And I loved him. I loved the band, and I followed them basically up until he passed. And he died while I was like, okay, first it was Chris Cornell. I believe that Chris Cornell from like Savage Garden, right? Soundgarden, who passed away. Yeah, he possibly drug. I think it was drug overdose, possibly suicide, which also sucks. Honorable mention, Chris Cornell, and they were really close, and then he committed suicide afterwards, and it really hit me like a ton of bricks when he went, and I really missed the guy, and so but I always go back and listen to those old Linkin Park albums and just remember him that way. And just a lot of good. I mean, I think he kind of took everybody by storm with like Crawling way back in the day. That was that one really.
It was one of my favorite songs.
That Crawling's one of the best. But then it was like just everything. Just like from Minutes to Midnight. My personal favorite is actually Tried to Give You Warning, which is off of it's off of Minutes to Midnight, which is like it's got kind of a samurai theme to it. It's just like he's and it's always, I keep forgetting the guy who does the rap on that.
Mike Chioda.
Mike Chioda. It's always interesting contrast between the two of them. Like he's always like the more singy part and like oftentimes in like the refrain, and then they go back to the rap part of it. It's always it's really great, and I'm kind of rambly here, but they mean a lot to me, and I think Chester just is the screechy awesome dude from Linkin Park, and a lot of like he basically was the heart of the band. He was the heart of the band and one of my favorite bands of all time. So I had to put Chester on there. So I'm rambling.
So if I were to put put him on there, I actually would have to incorporate Chioda because to me I felt that they were a duo. You pointed it out where they went back and forth. And you got both the energy from them. I think Chioda is a great MC.
Yeah, I think this is the first. I'm going to change my vote. I'm just going to put him on there. How do you spell his name again?
I know how to spell Mike.
I'm really tired. I forgot how to spell Mike just now.
I'm so tired. I'm still in fucking pajamas.
Chioda. Yeah. I worked last night and didn't go to bed. And
you still didn't make it here on time.
I still didn't make it here on time. And it wasn't because I was asleep. I was
that's what I'm saying.
No, I was distracted by stupid shit. I had to figure out what Chris Chan was up to. Like, apparently Chris Chan's, like, still fucked up, but he got better a little bit. Sort of, not really. And then I got on some other kind of rabbit hole. And I was playing a video game. I was playing Legend of Success Joe, which is based off of a manga.
Oh, it's actually an S.
Thank you.
Because I think he's of Japanese origin.
Chioda.
So, what I love about
I'm bad at this. I'm really bad.
What I loved about Chester was the fact that he could scream and sing. He has a wonderful voice. He actually sounds like a Backstreet Boy.
Right.
He had great harmony, great vocals.
Yeah, but he's not singing about love all the time. He's like screeching and like awesome.
And then all of a sudden he's able to crawling in my and you hear it, and then all of a sudden these walls they will not eat. Yeah. He was really good. An honorable mention for me is another guy who does a great job at that, and actually was on my list, but there's so many great from it, and there's Corey Taylor from Slipknot and Stone Sour. He does a phenomenal job with that, and I think over Chester only because he really can do the extreme of the growling, where Chester did more of
Chester's more of a screecher,
right? A screecher because that would bring us more into the Finnish guys, right? Which we'll get more into later.
I think, but I think like that might be.
He had more this, it was screaming, but it was more like the new wave of heavy metal style, whereas Corey can get really guttural, and then with a lot of Slipknot stuff, he almost even raps it.
I think that might be one of the things that holds like or held the Backstreet Boys down in the 90s because it was like especially like obviously the girls always loved them and the gay dudes always loved them, but it's like they were such a corporate thing. It was like they were manufactured and they're singing nothing but love songs and bullshit. It's like the point where like as artists they had to break away from that later. I mean Justin Timberlake had a freaking like he's in sync, but like they had to come back. It's like no I can sing, I can rap, I can do a lot of cool. They had to like come back and like really grow as artists, whereas like Chester and Mike Chioda were straight up just like, hey, we're doing our own thing, and just like they were held back.
That was a beautiful band. I love that band so much. And definitely, probably in my top 20 of greatest heavy metal bands of all time.
Right.
Just awesome band. I love their blend of pop, metal, and hip hop. It was just it was beautiful. Like if you really love music, I mean, that's definitely a band that you should have got involved in my opinion.
Linkin Park, one of the best bands of all time, hands down.
But
I didn't put them on my list last time because I put Hammerfall on there to annoy him. I mean, because
he achieved it. So number 10, to many metalheads, is God. The movie, I think it's Airheads. They say that this man is God, and well, rest in power. Number 10. Lemmy Kilmister. Of Motorhead. So you put Motorhead on your greatest list.
On my honorable mentions.
Oh yeah. No, I think
was
it an honorable mention? It was honorable mention. Oh, it was an honorable mention. So Motorhead to me wasn't one of the greatest heavy metal bands of all time. As far as the top 10, they're definitely on the list of mine. We would probably do a podcast of fucking 6 hours and we did, top 20 or top 30. So,
today's podcast sponsored by NyQuil because that's where we're on right now.
I will be on Dayquil actually really soon.
Yeah.
I'm kind of recovering from a cold / wannabe flu or whatever the hell it was. It was pretty bad.
Today's podcast sponsored by Zombification.
So, yeah, to me, Motorhead was Lemmy. So, in top 10 bands, I wanted to pick bands. The last episode we have, I wanted to pick bands that were a perfectly knit unit and had some of the greatest drummers of all time, greatest guitarists of all time, greatest bass players of all time, and greatest vocalists of all time. But with this, I was his frontman, and this is Lemmy. Lemmy was larger than life. I had the privilege of seeing Lemmy before he passed. I saw him in 98, I want to say. He was towering. I mean, he was absolutely towering, statuesque. His bass is probably longer than you. That bass that he had was just like this. And he was like an iron, we call him the Iron Horse. He was like an iron god up there, just pounding this bass with these giant mitts and stuff. And he sounded like a fucking buzzsaw. The only way it feels good is when it's good and loud. He sounded just like that live. And this guy was just, he looked like he was 8 feet tall on stage. I'm telling you. I really don't know how tall he was in life, but I'm telling you on stage, I was in that awe. And I had not bought a Motorhead album yet. Mm-hmm. I had heard of Motorhead. And as you well could see, after I saw him live, I went and bought Motorhead. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. This guy was just absolutely amazing. And the thing is, there was at Ozfest, they had the small stage, and they rocked better than most of the bands on the big stage. He was phenomenal. He was absolutely phenomenal. He was engaging with the crowd. I've seen live shows of them on TV and videos. You can see how great Lemmy was. He performed on WWE because he did the introductory songs for Triple H. There's an actual documentary with Lemmy and Triple H about their relationship, and Lemmy was just larger than life. He was just fucking phenomenal. Just absolutely, he was the best. He was funny as shit too. He was rock and roll like all the way. Yeah. He was like sex, drugs, rock and roll. Lemmy was just something else. Legend.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Lemmy's a god. I probably should have put Motorhead on my top 10 last time, but I put Nightwish there. No regrets. Also, I didn't put him on my list here because I picked Tiny Tim. And I'm not going to say anything more about Lemmy. Moving on. So, number 9. Number 9 is David Draymond of Disturbed. So this is, I guess, number 9 and 10 are my high school picks. Because it's basically. And so Linkin Park hit me in high school, and I think the thing that just kind of I really loved. I think the thing about Linkin Park is I love Linkin Park not just for being good metal music and being hard, but again, it's like John pointed out earlier. It's more of more musical. It kind of reaches. It's like hip hop. It's Chester can sing. There's a lot going on there. But in terms of just raw I got to go with Disturbed. And Disturbed was kind of my introduction to really getting into heavy metal in the first place. It was the first really hard thing I was listening to. And Disturbed is still to this the day just blows me away. Or at least their older stuff did. Again, the last album I wasn't really feeling, but everything up to that was great. It was and David also can sing. He can sing really well, but he also can roar, and I like a lot of the places that he's taken Disturbed. Chester and Mike Chioda actually too. One thing I liked about Linkin Park is that they get political. They're willing to talk about issues, and David's always willing to do that too. A lot of Believe, I believe, was very kind of post 9/11. They a lot of it came from that. They approach a lot of social issues in their music, and they still rock out and roar. For my money, and again, they just have so many anthems that are just great. Indestructible is just talking about warfare and being a warrior, and the good and bad that comes with that. And for my money, my favorite from them is The Night. The Animal. The Animal is which you think Josh hates, which I don't believe, just because he said it was okay. And we were talking about Pacific Rim Uprising earlier.
Because I never heard Josh goes, oh, it's okay. No, I've always heard Josh go, it's okay.
I think you're misinterpreting Josh, but whatever. If he doesn't like it, Josh, you're dumb. You're dumb. You're dumb. You're like poop. But whatever. The Animal's awesome. The Animal is just fucking amazing. It's a werewolf song. The Night is haunting and beautiful. It's just fucking great. David's awesome. My only issue with David, and the reason why he's number 9, is David should not do certain things. David should not make again. I like the message, and I like the willingness to talk about social commentary. But David shouldn't talk about pollution, or he at least needs to make a better song about it. Because Just Another Way to Die sucks. And he also shouldn't. I appreciate that he likes pot. He should never make a metal song about pot, because he did on the last album, and that's what killed the last album for him. Just oh yeah, the demon leaf. It's just so okay, yeah, you smoked too much before you made that one. Just no. Although Sound of Silence, decent cover, the man can sing. On top of that, and so I think that's the best track on that album, and I'm glad that it got radio play, where it's you don't really hear a lot of the metal bands as much as we should nowadays. But yeah, he's consistent. He's consistently awesome. David Draymond, my number 9. I don't know. I hit the table just now.
So I agree with you putting him over Chester Bennington.
Yeah,
at my show, because that man's voice is phenomenal.
Right, and if it's like metal front men, it's Chester's. These two are a little more versatile. They're not just metal people. They're hip hop. They're more pop.
Well,
David,
I mean, to me, Linkin Park had the makings of a modern day Beatles.
Right.
Really good.
Yeah.
So I never saw Draymond live.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've seen a concert of Draymond live.
Mm-hmm.
So those, when I think frontman, I think live.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of live. Can you perform live as well as you can sing, in the studio.
Right.
Studio-wise, like we say, vocalist, that dude's sick.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's better than Corey, too.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I like Slipknot better. I think that Draymond, his voice is just, it's the sound of angels and demons having intercourse. It's just, like, really good.
The sickness. I forgot to talk about the sickness.
Well, yeah.
The sickness is raw.
So, that first album was nu metal all the way, and then they kind of went away from it, trying to be like a modern day Metallica. I would say.
I kind of brought it up last time too, but also like "Dropping Plates" was like their WWE anthem. Yeah, it's like you can even if you listen to it, you can just see Triple H hitting people in the head with a chair. It's just like a Big Show jumping on somebody. It's all there. It's like
it's really good. And the Sound of Silence cover, my favorite cover actually is the Land of Confusion.
Oh, Land of Confusion is great.
By Genesis.
Yes,
great song originally by Genesis,
which proves that song is just timeless.
And Phil Collins is probably one of the greatest vocalists of all time. Phil Collins' voice is just beautiful.
Also the videos,
but the fact that he could,
both
do that and do justice to it, because I mean, we're talking about Phil Collins here. We're talking about we're talking about like Elton John, Billy Joel. We're talking about a great soft rock vocalist of all time, and to be copied by a metal guy and to do it justice, I give credit where credit's due.
If you compare the videos from both generations, like the original, the one with the Muppets and Ronald Reagan, and all the political commentary that's on in that one, and Ronald Reagan's like freaking being senile and touching the bomb and blowing things up, a different era, and then years later, Disturbed covers it, and we still have the same issues. It's just a little bit different. And we have that really awesome animated Todd McFarlane video with the big fat guy getting wealthy off of war. It was like, freaking Bush got us in the Iraq War at the time, and people are rising up with the Disturbed one, just like blowing up the fat cat. It's kind of like what we're seeing now, just like kind of like revolution of like all of us like poor saps of different walks of life, different minorities, different groups, just coming together, like realizing we're getting played by the government and whatnot. It's like the same issues. It's like that song is timeless. It's like the particulars may change every generation, but it's like what that song's talking about is still valid to this day. So I can't wait for who's big right now. I can't wait for Drake to cover it, and it'll be pretty dope. Drake and Nicki Minaj do a cover of Land of Confusion.
That sounds awful.
It probably will be awful, but I mean, I want it anyway, because Ludacris, Luda. Have Drake and other people from Young Money on the album, but cover Land of Confusion.
Ludacris is not Young Money.
He's hung out with them before. Look, Nicki Minaj was in My Chick Bad, okay, and she ripped men's nipples off. All right, they should do a cover of Land of Confusion. It'd be fucking, it'll probably blow your mind. Be avant-garde. I want to fucking see it. Do it. Make it happen. Make my insane MC fan fictions happen. What are we talking about?
So number 9. For those tuning in, we're talking about the top 10 greatest heavy metal frontmen of all time, and the greatest band of all time is Metallica. So number 9, James Hetfield, Metallica. I personally see Metallica live, and they deliver. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is one of the greatest shows you'll ever see live. Jake's voice sounds just like he does in studio. He engages with the crowd. He really makes you feel like you want to be there. Cool guy. I mean, it really is. He's just timeless, and he does it with a guitar at the same time. So you never hear him like lose his breath or anything like that. I mean, James and Pyrotechnics. He actually got burned doing a show, and still does pyrotechnics. That doesn't scare him. Mm-hmm. After he got burned in that famous show 30 years ago, he still came on stage in a cast. Yeah, he's an extreme sports guy, and he's injured his leg, and he's come on stage and performed with a broken leg. I mean, this guy just doesn't stop. You know, I just love James Hetfield. His songmanship, his vocalist, performance, everything about him is just absolutely phenomenal. So that's just, you know, that's the only person that could top Lemmy. I mean, and, you know, Hetfield looked up to Lemmy, and I think, you know, it was a great tribute for him to really be a great frontman. He's just phenomenal.
Metallica's awesome. James Hetfield's awesome. He's really good. I probably should have put him on my list, but I didn't. Instead, I put Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Coming Out of the Shells tour, because he sings a song about following your heart. And he just says "follow your heart" over and over again at a really touching point in the production. And it gave the Turtles what they needed to defeat the Shredder and stop his sound machine from stealing music all over the world. And that was more important than putting James Hetfield on my list. Speaking of controversial picks, number 8, Brian Johnson of AC/DC. Which, according to John, and I disagree. I believe Brian Johnson and AC/DC are very metal, and I should have put them on my list last time. And also, Joshua says that AC/DC is one of the branches of rock that AC/DC includes heavy metal. Ergo, I'm right, and. Yeah, okay, so AC/DC is consistently good. Just been consistently good for the 100 years they've been freaking doing music. And they always rock. They're always fun to listen and jam to. They're like TNT. You know, they're dynamite. And they're just great to just jam to and headbang to. I can't understand how anyone wouldn't consider them metal unless it's just that I'm dumb, which I might be. I fully admit that. But, I didn't put AC/DC on my top 10 last time, and that was wrong. So I'm putting Brian Johnson here. America.
He's Australian.
But America loves Australia because of Brian Johnson. And that's why AC/DC.
So, few things here on that one. Number one, AC/DC is not heavy metal.
Yeah, they are.
So I love AC/DC, and our next podcast, you'll definitely find out how much I really love AC/DC.
I don't want to believe you. I don't believe you.
But with that being said, Brian Johnson, he has a flaw.
Okay.
So let's say he is metal. He does have a flaw, and that is understanding.
Oh, look at this. According to Wikipedia, hard rock, blues rock, heavy metal, and rock and roll.
But hard rock, blues rock,
and heavy metal. Okay. So he's heavy metal. So John's wrong. John's wrong, and we know Wikipedia is never wrong. It's never wrong. It's never. You're going to see it in reverse. It's not going to matter. I don't know. That one probably is going to look better. But whatever. It's there. Look at it in a mirror. Yeah, it's
so,
Cypher, I'm right. Thank you, Joshua.
As any ingredient, you notice that the primary ingredient in any product, right? What the item is made of the most of is the first ingredient, right?
No, that's bullshit.
No, hold on.
Where's your facts on that?
Here in this soda, it says contains carbonated water. Because that's the main ingredient. Can you
cite your sources, sir? Can you cite your sources that it's always the first thing listed?
It's the bro show, not the fucking nerd show.
If I make a list of all the important nutrients of the body and I put my pubic hair, that doesn't mean I'm entirely pubic hair.
The number one genre they are is hard rock.
Okay, it doesn't matter because in the Venn diagram is heavy metal, so I'm right. So I'm putting on my list. I win.
You can't be the greatest.
Yes, you can.
If you're down in the bottom. The second one, Brian Johnson's very hard to understand. Very hard to understand.
Okay. This bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Because some of us don't have a problem with that when we're listening to heavy metal. So this motherfucker, if you look at his music reviews, he's like just raw hate of death metal because I can't understand them. I can't understand. You don't need to understand death metal. All you need is
That's not death metal. That's not death metal.
Whatever.
That's black metal.
You know what I mean? Same
No,
shit.
it's not. Totally different genres. If you're gonna stand up for something, you should.
This is why you don't appreciate.
This is death metal. Oh, oh, oh.
They're both. They're both monkey demon noises. They're both. John. They're both.
That's like
they're
one of
both.
the greatest obituary songs of all time.
They're both monkey demon noises. The point is like a real metal fan appreciates things like that, or some of us like, no, this is garbage. I hate him. How dare you, Gojira? How dare you make whale noises?
Gojira is a death metal band.
What the fuck was Gojira?
It's a death metal band.
According
to the 100 greatest death metal bands of all time.
Let me double check Wikipedia, which is never wrong because I would actually classify them as weird metal, like weird fiction. They're H.P. Lovecraft because we made music that sounds like whale noises because Gojira and
I think that was that they were only going for that album because I saw some other albums of theirs and they're nothing like that.
They're French. That's their problem.
That makes sense.
I cancel this again. We just I'm sorry, France. I love you. Okay, hold on. Okay, I know French people like to get a kiss in the mouth. Okay, there, we're good. So, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
All right, so what
Gojira.
Right?
Okay,
so
they're technical death metal, progressive metal, groove metal, post metal.
But their first one is what? What? Here we go again. So the first one listed.
I'm getting a drink.
The first one listed is technical death metal. They are a death metal band, just like AC/DC is a hard rock band.
Technical death metal band, whatever that means.
The third thing about Brian Johnson is, you got to be here for this one.
I got a drink out of the car.
A drink out of the car.
I had some more soda because I didn't like I left my Mountain Dew over here last time and yeah.
I have a Diet Pepsi in the yes. You see, I'm drinking a Diet Pepsi. No, go into the other room.
Okay. Where's the Pepsi?
As Eddie comes back searching for a Diet Pepsi. Yeah, one more thing I have to point out about Brian Johnson.
Thank you, Sean, for giving me a Diet Pepsi.
Okay, so the other thing about Brian Johnson is he can't be one of the greatest frontmans if AC/DC's first frontman was better. Bon Scott was better than Brian Johnson. Rest in power.
Rest in power. Also, Zenny's camel crawling outside like she's in a war movie. She's like, oh my. She's like, just think. Yeah, she's like, she just snuck by him.
Gucci, I love you.
Our mascot is going to stealth attack us at some point.
All right, Eddie's ignoring me, so I'm going to move on to my number 8, who actually is a heavy metal frontman and is one of the greatest of all time to done it. Actually,
what the fuck is technical death metal? What the fuck? Whatever.
Death metal that actually sounds like real drumming instead of. Oh, they do this. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Hey, rock music. Could you get more like different versions of yourselves that just like confuse people like me, who's a casual listener? Could we come up with I saw frogs like we have frog metal now. You put on frog hats and you make croaking noises. I probably just created a genre of music.
You probably did.
Oh my god. Oh god. Oh Jesus Christ. All 5 people that listen to this start to get a frog metal band. We're doing this. It's like
all right. So
Citibank. You want to start a metal band? Could we call it like corporate greed metal? Could you do that?
Trump did that already.
Oh god. Trump. Oh no god. QAnon's gonna form Trump metal. No, don't do that. Please no. Please no one. Okay, fine. You know what? Fine. Make it and just no one show up. Just no one show up.
Number 8, he created the look, believe it or not, because he was the first one to put on leather clothes, and which is funny because it was part of his homosexual lifestyle. And
clearly, you're talking about Tobias from Arrested Development.
Yes,
who has his own metal band apparently,
called
the Blue Man Group.
Yeah.
Blue Man Group is an unusual choice for number 8. I don't know why you picked that.
So number 8 is Mr. Rob Halford, who fronted Judas Priest for most of his career. Mm-hmm. Had his own band. 2 was kind of like a Nine Inch Nails kind of gimmick thing. He's gone on his own solo. He even did a song with Five Finger Death Punch, which is my favorite song from them. I didn't know it was Rob
I don't have
Halford.
there's not a whole lot of choices from Five for Death Punch as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I love Five Finger Death Punch.
They made 2 or 3 songs I like.
I don't know. You gotta listen to more. There's a lot there. I think out of the last 20 years, Five Finger Death Punch, Gucci, and Avenged Sevenfold. If you're into heavy metal, those are the 2 bands to look out for. But anyway, Rob Halford brought leather to heavy metal, whether you hate it or love it. Rob Halford, I think, was one of the first operatic voices brought into. I mean, Rob Halford has got a really good voice. Rob Halford would not only be on the greatest metal voices of all time, I think he could probably be on one of the greatest male vocalists of all time. And his voice is phenomenal. I saw YouTube videos of him live. I didn't get to be able to see him live. So this is the first one on my list that I didn't get to see live. But I saw YouTube videos and concerts of him and Judas Priest, and he sounds pretty much the same. And even in his old age, he's still killing it. I mean, his voice he's like a banshee from the gates of heaven. He's phenomenal.
When I think of Banshee, I think of like a screeching noise that makes your ears bleed. He doesn't do that to me. He's everything he says.
He has stuff that can.
Yeah, but I don't care, dude. I would be hypnotized by my ears melting if he were to do that, because everything that comes out of his mouth.
Did you ever hear Painkiller?
Everything that comes out of Rob's mouth is beautiful.
Oh, it is.
Everything comes out.
Have you heard Painkiller?
Probably have.
The high pitched voice of that is just phenomenal. Like how do they come out with? If I do it, it just sounds cartoonish. It was just really good.
Yeah, Rob's also a god. Rob's the avatar of a god. Rob's awesome. I probably should have put him on my list, but instead I decided to put Dwayne from Home Movies. He's the band that Brendan Smalls does all his music to, and they're not real. They're cartoons, but they're pretty awesome. So I decided to put that instead of Rob Halford. We don't have any similarities on our list today. It's not like number 7, James Hetfield from Metallica. It was like I was lying before, and I'm not original and silly. But so for number 7, I picked James Hetfield. I put him higher on my list than you did, which I think means I love him more than you do. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, I do.
James, I'm sorry.
No, I mean,
but when Eddie actually makes sense, it's monumental.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I was lying about.
But James is better than all those people you have on that list so far, though.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like and we're also getting away from the high school stuff and questionable. We'll say Brian Johnson, even though you're wrong. Where we're getting into more classic metal with my list.
I don't want to sound like a Brian Johnson hater. Like, I think he's a great...
Hi, Michelle. Hello.
I think he's a great frontman.
You're just intimidated because he's got the biggest balls on the ball.
But that wasn't him.
That's true.
That was Bon Scott. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Bon Scott even did songs that were more interactive with the... AC/DC became more popular with Brian Johnson, and I think musically, AC/DC got better when Brian Johnson got on there. But
John, I suck. Let's just not do this and talk about McDonald's. Let's talk about fat we are. Listen, I'm so fat. Let me tell you guys, the apple,
I really want to do an episode.
The apple fritter is so fucking tasty at McDonald's. I eat it and I just feel bad because I'm just like, oh my god, it's so tasty, and I'm like, it's bad for you. It's no bad for you. I don't care. It's so good. And I start crying, and
If you want to hear us talk about McDonald's, the good, the bad, and the ugly, please chime in.
We have to now. We also have to. You know what we have to do? We have to lie to Josh. We have to lie to Star Killer.
I can't even get him to be on one episode.
Yeah. Hello, baby.
Hey.
Hello.
Thank you.
Baby is giving us... thank you. Oh, we're having... Oh, my... It's a Unikitty! It's a Uni... Look at the cute!
And it's a Una-Owl.
It's so cute! Unikitty. Thank you.
Oh, look. She has sushi on her belly.
And mine is pizza.
That fits us.
This goes with my current theme of how fat I am.
Did you finish your applesauce? Go finish your applesauce.
Okay.
All right, so where
All
we're
right,
at?
James Hetfield.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we're getting more into more classic rock for me. Again, my personal journey is one of getting into the newer stuff in high school, and I think that reflects in the lists I've made, including the Hammerfall and Nightwish, which makes your brain hurt because it's kind of like a journey. It was like those are newer bands I really like, but it's like as in terms of for me the best, I have to go older. I have to go with the gods. I have to go with the people that started it. And Metallica, I don't know if Metallica's not quite at Lemmy's level, but Metallica is they're like the hero. They're like hero deities. They're like Hercules. They're Theseus. They're Jason the Argonauts. They're the people that became gods by being champions. Metallica is just legendary and just like with it, and they've been inspired by other greater rockers before them. And they came in and made some of the best stuff out there. And James is freaking awesome. And I'm thinking some of my favorite stuff from Metallica right now, like Harvester of Sorrow is probably one of my personal favorites. I really like Harvester of Sorrow.
It's a really good one. It's a really dark one too.
Yeah, one of course.
It was like about a guy murdering his family.
Yeah, well, it's freaking dark. It's like my head goes into like really like dark fantasy places with that one.
Yeah, it was
like just kind of like I think of like a monster like with a big scythe killing things. Like ones we talked about was the greatest song of all time. It just pretty much anything. He is the voice. He is the voice of the greatest metal band of all time. So ergo, he's number 7 on my list. He's like and so we're slow.
I thought you said the greatest metal band of all time was Dio.
They are the greatest metal band of all time.
You just said Metallica's the greatest metal band of all time.
Listen.
Caught him.
God has no. There is only one God, and Ronnie James Dio is his prophet. However, his disciples are the dudes from Metallica and Kyle Gass and Jack Black. And so they listen. We all know that Dio ascended on a demon's back into heaven after he rose from the dead and flew a demon into heaven, and then his disciples went into hiding, and then they were emblazoned with fire from the whips of a chain devil, and that's how Metallica got their powers. And they went out into the land and spread the word of rock. And this is all in the Bible. You didn't read the Bible? You didn't read the Bible? I thought it was
the Bible I read was much lamer.
I don't know. It was something like Al Azif or the Howling of Insects. I don't know what it is. It was like
good job, thank you.
It wasn't the Bible. It's the Necronomicon. The Necronomicon speaks of this, and it's like, and so this is all true. So that's why. Listen. Everything I say here, especially the contradictory shit, is in canon and makes sense somehow in my brain. Unikitty agrees with me. That Unikitty agrees that James Hetfield is the greatest band of all time.
So
sort of, kind of.
Number 7. I'm a little older than Eddie. In high school,
What's up, buddy?
Definitely had an influence for me on some of these performers. I went to these concerts and saw these performers, and this guy literally cried on stage holding a bunny rabbit, a stuffed animal in his hand, and in the fetal position. I thought it was just freaking crazy. And then literally gets up stage and starts screaming and headbanging and everything. And that's Mr. Jonathan Davis from Korn. Sounds just like he does on Wax. He is probably one of the most theatrical people without the theatrics. So what I mean by that is that you don't see Jonathan Davis in costumes. You don't see him with a bunch of pyrotechnics. You don't see him with all kinds of props or anything like that. Besides little subtle creepy things like dead dolls or bunny rabbits or maybe a little hippo.
Or a red poison dart frog. Available now at Zoo Tampa.
But he can play instruments, so he's got up there and hit the drums. I've seen him literally headbang and play bagpipes at the same time. Like, how the do you do that? That looks like one of the most complicated instruments of all time is the bagpipes. I mean, because you're doing this thing with your arm, I think. You got this one here, and then you're also playing these at the same time. And this guy is hard.
As a Scotsman, it's not an easy instrument to master. Did you know the bagpipe originally comes from Africa? It's actually all around. It's actually all from around. Like, it was originally from Africa and like went to like Austria and other locations, and eventually made its way to Scotland. It's just been popularized by Scotland.
Wow.
Yeah, I learned that at a Renaissance festival.
That's cool.
Yeah. A whale.
So, Jonathan Davis also takes
the baby is insisting that I show off all
blues scatting and makes it sound almost like death metal.
Thank you, baby.
He created his own style. Obviously, Korn also created new metal. And definitely, see, he's still young and in his prime, so definitely would be someone to go watch. Jonathan Davis, number 7.
Number 6, Jonathan Davis. So yes,
I can agree with that.
Yeah, so we're not quite out of my high school days right now. We're back in my goth pick, which would be Jonathan Davis. And interesting enough, Manson.
Goth.
To me, it is. It's like dark and kind of He's like dude.
They're more hip hop than goth.
Whatever, John. They're very.
They
goth.
covered Ice Cube.
I know, John. They're so goth. They're so goth. They're so John. I was listening to them and wearing dark. I was wearing black all the time because I was listening to Jonathan Davis. Okay, I was like, this is navy blue. Don't you start with me. Don't you start with me. I'm a service member. I'm a veteran. And I have an octopus to prove. I have Cthulhu's head to prove it. So somehow, well, where's my hat? Where's my hat? I'll find my hat in a minute. They're again, Jonathan Davis. Like it's more of what I said back on the previous episode. That like again, a lot of what comes out of him is his own personal demons. It's like which he pours out in his music. It always has like kind of a dark, haunting feel to it. It always takes me to a vampire place, and it just like the writing's good. The man can rap battle. It just like Korn is just like a huge band for me. Like Follow the Leader was amazing. It's like a lot little things he did like Shoots and Ladders is just like freaking amazing and haunting and weird. And interesting enough, like this is again I kind of followed my metal band's picks this time. But if you'll notice on my list, I won't reveal to you guys yet. But Manson is nowhere on my list.
I know.
And he was my number 8 last time. And
I don't understand that because they're not a great band, but it's got the greatest frontman of all time.
We disagree with that, and it's but I disagree, but not that much because it's like he's still really good, and I salute you for potentially picking him. I'm not sure why you picked I'm not sure why you picked Bat Metal instead of it. I mean, that YouTube video where Batman listened to metal music. I mean, I'm not sure why. I mean, that does rock, but I mean, I don't understand why you wouldn't put Manson on the list. I know why I didn't put Manson on my list. As much as I like Manson,
I still don't understand why you didn't put Manson.
I didn't put Manson on my list because to me, again, Jonathan Davis is like kind of resonates with me more. There's a lot of good. Again, to me, Manson is kind of the more originator of a lot of that dark music. Whereas Jonathan Davis, like for me, perfected it. It like kind of hits me on that level.
They're like 2 different genres of music.
Not to me, John. Not to me.
Yeah, but man.
So my other favorite meal from McDonald's is the Cinnabon because I'm fat, and the Cinnabon makes me feel really, really good. And I'm a better top, and I obviously know more about McDonald's.
Whoa, McDonald's, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. Josh, you're talking about this. You're not escaping. I know you're watching this. You may not be watching it right now, but you're gonna watch it later.
He's at work.
Yeah. When you get a chance, Josh. Yeah, you're no. If I'm gonna talk about McDonald's, you're fucking talking about McDonald's. This is happening. It's happening. Yeah, no. We're gonna sit and talk about how fat we are, and you're gonna like it. Anyway, why did I pick Jonathan Davis for number 6? Because Jonathan Davis is great, and I love his music. I love his vocals. He hits me on like that deep personal level.
Rome,
he's haunting and goth and awesome. What's up, Rome? How you doing? We got some more people. Jonathan Davis is awesome. I agree with you 100% on Jonathan Davis. You already talked about him a bunch. Oh, also, I put him as my number 6, which means I love him more than you do. So, yeah.
You do love Jonathan Davis.
I do.
More than
I do love Jonathan.
You do.
Yeah, right.
I agree with that. So the next one,
why'd you pick this terrible filmmaker?
Which I couldn't believe
number 6.
Why you didn't pick this guy.
Actually,
as far as
no, I really like this guy's films, but that's not the point.
As far as stage performance goes, I
Baby
think this
Toys.
guy is one of the best. So an honorable mention. He's not heavy metal, but it would be Alice Cooper because Alice Cooper originated the whole macabre makeup. Probably inspired all these freaks in Sweden and Norway.
I'm gonna fact check you.
But it was Alice Cooper was the first one to put the face paint on, and then did a lot of theatrics. But Cooper's music is more hard rock than metal. As it would evolve, I would say that Ozzy Osbourne would evolve into Marilyn Manson. I would have to say Alice Cooper would evolve into my number 6 choice, Rob Zombie. So, Rob probably has the worst voice out of...
Oh, look, Alice Cooper, hard rock and heavy metal. Once again, Josh.
So what's the first one? The first one mentioned?
Hard rock.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, because you're completely divorced from around there. He also does shock rock and glam rock, but heavy metal is in there. It's in the Venn diagram. So once again, John is wrong about everything. Continue.
So,
and the baby.
with that being said, Rob Zombie, I don't know, he kind of struggles sometimes live vocally. But his
I feel like Rob is completely underappreciated in many ways. I didn't put him on my list, but I respect you putting Rob. Rob's
I don't understand. You must not have seen him live because I'm telling you, Rob Zombie is you live. Yeah. Rob Zombie has giant monsters, robots.
It's a roller coaster.
Strippers.
Yeah.
I mean, he has everything on his show.
Did you know that the monster is from the Phantom Creeps?
Led Zeppelin's a hard rock band.
It's okay, Rome. I'll double check him.
So, we're talking about pyrotechnics, flames, and the pyrotechnics going to what he's singing about. When he did the song Planet X, he went like this.
Led Zeppelin, hard rock, blues rock, folk rock, heavy metal. John is wrong again. Bam.
Okay. But if you watch interviews from...
Oh, wait. So...
It's not the same thing.
Also, I am redeemed last time for insulting Led Zeppelin and said, Leonard, I said like Leonard Skinner was... Wait, was it Led Zeppelin that I said? Led Zeppelin was heavy metal. And like... Who'd you say that, like...
That's what I'm saying. Led Zeppelin hates that term. Jimmy Page refuses to be considered a heavy metal artist.
Well, Jimmy Page is fucking wrong about his own genre because according to this, it says he's heavy metal.
Yeah,
Sorry, Jimmy Page. I love you, bro.
Robert Plant disagrees too. They both hate that term. I'm telling you.
Well, you know what? Tommy Wiseau didn't want his movie to be a comedy, and here's what happened. Oh, I always planned for it to be a comedy. Yeah, sure you did, Tommy. Sure you did.
Anyway, so back to Rob Zombie. As far as that showmanship, I think there's very few that could beat him on that.
Yeah.
You really have to go to a Rob Zombie concert.
I want to.
As you're so into comic books and into horror and all this stuff, I can't believe Rob Zombie's not on your list and you haven't been to a Rob Zombie
What did
concert.
your baby build? What is this? What?
I don't know. It's kind of cool.
It's a mad science device. I love it. Oh, it's dope. Good job.
Yeah.
Oh, she made 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I expected this, that she would photobomb us and take over the show.
So, Rob Zombie...
Rob Zombie is the king of Halloween.
He is.
Yeah,
I just don't understand why he's not on your list.
I just didn't think to put him on there. And I was too busy putting Michelangelo and Tiny Tim on my list.
All right, so now we're in the top 5 now.
I have things to say about Rob. Rob. I think Rob is completely underappreciated. Just like you said, he's got the showmanship.
He's underappreciated by you. You didn't put him on the list.
He's my number 11. Honorable mention, Rob Zombie. So but he's great, and he's always what do we get?
I don't know. Negro behemoth.
What we have? Well, I'll play with the puppets in a minute. I'll play with the puppets in a minute. It's funny. Well, fine. We'll get to it right now. All right. I got a T-Rex. I got gay pride T-Rex. I like this LGBT represent T-Rex. Yeah. It's pretty dope. What else happened? No, but Yeah, like he's the king of Halloween. He puts on great shows. It's like, and he just seems like a guy that goes out there and wants to talk about horror movies in his metal music. And it's just like, and it's always fun. It's always cool. I think my favorite is Living Dead Girl. Living Dead Girl, the video is always like about like a zombie lady. I always picture like a hot.
One of my worst.
I fucking love Living Dead.
Least favorite song.
I fucking love Living Dead Girl. I always picture.
That's probably because you probably masturbate to Living Dead
Girl.
Girl.
Masturbate to Living Dead Girl. And let's hope your daughter comes in the next room so I can embarrass myself further. Yeah, no, I always picture like a vampire. I picture a vamp. Thank you for putting a cross up. Thank you. I like it. Like the video's great. The video is like she's like this weird zombie. Like and what I love about Rob Zombie especially is his love of old school horror. Like he takes his name from White Zombie, which was
Bela
Lugosi classic, which I've seen. It's really good. It's one of those black and white movies that's still fucking scary. The monster, the big robot, that's from the Phantom Creeps. That's from old serials that he used to watch. He has a real appreciation for classic horror. And even though he has a tendency as a filmmaker to do a little too much like crazy rednecks as his kind of thing, I actually really like him as a filmmaker. I loved House of a Thousand Corpses. I still haven't seen The Devil's Rejects, but I love Sid Haig. I got to meet at Pensacon way back, and he gave me an autograph for free when he found out I was military. And again, rest in power, Sid Haig, who's been in like a billion movies.
He passed away.
Yeah, he passed away a couple years ago, unfortunately.
Wow.
But just really nice guy, and he got to work with him. He does a lot of things. Even some of them are like hit or miss, like but they're still fun and weird. Like El Super Bisto is kind of like over the top shocking, but the Adventures of El Super Bisto is a lot of fun. It's this weird sort of animated horror comedy with lots of sex in it. He did another movie which is kind of like a weird sort of Hunger Games purge thing called 31, which was really good. Lords of Salem I haven't seen yet. I don't like his Halloween movies. I don't like the Michael Myers.
I love those.
I love Rob. I feel like Halloween 2, certain parts of it are hilarious. Like, why is Michael Myers being haunted by the ghost of his mom on a white horse and the ghost of his childhood? I don't know. I think it's kind of silly. I'm spacing on his name. He's one of my favorite actors. The guy that plays Dr. Oh god, it's gonna drive me crazy. Oh shit, he was in Caligula. He's in Caligula. Help me, John.
I didn't watch Caligula.
Oh, why didn't you watch Caligula?
We need to move on.
Okay, this will come back. The actor who plays Donald Pleasance in his remakes, I love and everything, and I'm spacing on his name. He was Soren in Star Trek Generations. This is gonna drive me crazy. It's gonna drive me crazy.
Dude, you gotta get on with number 5.
No, I don't.
We're running out of time.
It's your number 5.
You're number 5.
No, I number 6. I did Jonathan Davis. Oh wait, we're talking about your. Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
It was cute.
Show off what the baby's doing to give me 5 seconds. Hold on.
Eddie, number 5.
Hold on. I got this. I have to know. Okay, so 5 minutes. This will drive me crazy. Malcolm McDowell is great in anything he's in, even in bad movies.
Okay.
Malcolm McDowell was great in Silent Hill. He's awesome. You would know him if you'd seen him.
That's great. Number 5.
Number 5. Tiny Tim. No. Number 5 is Lemmy Kilmister.
Never heard of him.
You never heard of Lemmy? You never heard of Lemmy? Obviously,
my top 10 is number 5.
Yeah. Obviously, I love Lemmy more than you. So,
you do?
So yeah. Lemmy Kilmister, as previously stated, Lemmy is a god. I really like Lemmy. And even though I was all like, I'm only going to make Motorhead an honorable mention because they're too rock and roll lifestyle for me, I still like that. I still like that stuff. And as John pointed out, it's like he does a lot of stuff. And even with the little, a couple years back, I got really into Motorhead. I listened to a lot of Motorhead. And it was like, and I've got a lot of their stuff still. And it's like, yeah, they tell stories too. They do a lot of the stuff that I like about Dio. It's like, it's all in there. And it's like, he does get into like the fantasy elements and the bombast of heavy metal that I love. There's just White Line Fever on top of that, which is about cocaine. And like songs about all the women that have done him wrong. and all the wild chicks that Lemmy hooks up with and things like that. And it's like, yeah, I can use a little bit of that in my life. So it's like, Lemmy's a god. Lemmy's awesome. Rest in power, Lemmy. And rest in power, Filthy Animal Taylor, too, as well. So, but yeah, Lemmy's great. Number 5. Who's your number 5?
So, yeah, I mean, love Lemmy. I mean,
right.
Obviously it was on number 10. But this guy, I don't understand why he's not on your list. This guy's probably got one of the best voices of all time. Or one of the best performers of all time.
Yeah, he's not on my list. Instead of my list, I picked...
is the... Pretty much the reason for the new wave of heavy metal and inspired bands like Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer is Iron Maiden. And Bruce Dickinson. So Iron Maiden started out with Paul Di'Anno, and they struggled. They built a great fan base and everything like that.
You're right. I did not pick Bruce Dickinson. I picked Weird Al Yankovic because he's metal he's metal for my funny bone. Go ahead.
Anyway, Paul Di'Anno's voice was more for punk, and as you listen to Iron Maiden, you hear the music is very epic, and you need somebody with a voice that can just soar. Bruce Dickinson is probably the only person that can go up to Rob Halford and backhand him. Bruce Dickinson has probably got the best voice in heavy metal. I mean, the next 4 people that I pick on my list don't even have his voice as great as Bruce Dickinson. Mm-hmm. I just think that Bruce Dickinson is like the Freddie Mercury of heavy metal.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree? You didn't even put him on there.
I should have picked him. I can't believe I didn't pick him put him on my list. I don't know why.
Yeah, you picked the guy from Disturbed and the guy from a hard rock band. I mean, like, are you serious? Rob Zombie and Bruce Dickinson are not on your list.
Yeah, but did they make UHF? No, they didn't. And you know who did? Weird Al. So Weird Al beats Bruce. According to Eddie.
So Bruce Dickinson actually has the great singing power of Rob Halford, and also takes the monster madness that Rob Zombie does.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, baby.
Come and get that toy. It's fun.
Anyway, so Bruce, they'll have Eddie, not this Eddie, even though this one's kind of scarier than their mascot Eddie. They'll have Eddie on their, looks. I don't know if he's supposed to be a zombie or a corpse or whatever he's supposed to be. But they have their mascot.
He's an unknown monster, I believe.
Yeah, so they have their mascot, Eddie, who's been famous and does great things. So you have him on stage. You have people dressed up as the devil. You have women, all kinds of stuff going on. It's very Alec Cooper-esque. Because Iron Maiden is great at storytelling. Mm-hmm. And so, they have a lot of stage theatrics on there. And Bruce is just absolutely phenomenal. His voice is phenomenal. He sounds just as great live as he does on wax. So, you suck for not picking Bruce Dickinson.
I do. I completely did not pick Bruce Dickinson.
Number 4.
And yeah, I totally. According to John, I didn't pick Bruce Dickinson. So, number 4 is Rob Halford. Oh, he finally gets it. Okay. Yeah, number 4, Rob Halford. I love Rob more than you do.
You do.
And Rob's awesome. Rob is a legend. Like every time I pretty much everything you just said about Rob. Number 8.
Number 8.
But all I can add to that on a personal level is anytime I listen to Rob, it's always amazing. It's like, as I said before, anything that comes out of that man's mouth is beautiful, and he tells stories. He has the bombast of metal. It's like it just. Anytime I listen to like Breaking the Law, it's like the first time. It's amazing. He also, again, just anything I listen to by Judas Priest is just freaking rocks my world, and it's great. So I had to put Rob out there,
especially when he does. You don't know what it's like.
This is true.
Yeah, this is great.
Rob's freaking great. So yeah, Rob's my number 4. Covered a lot of the same territory here.
Yeah, so I think this is probably we're starting to have a lot of similarities here. So
yes.
We both picked James Hetfield, Jonathan Davis, Lemmy Kilmister, and Rob Halford. So we're 4 out of 10 so far. Wow. So the next one, I don't know why you didn't pick him, because you mentioned him as greatest metal bands of all time, even though it's not a greatest.
He was a honorable mention for me, and that's why he's not on my list. I really like this guy. I like what I've heard. I haven't heard enough of him. Same reason I didn't pick John Michael Thorpe.
So he definitely needs to hear more of this guy. His voice is heard on... Is it Clerks 2?
Yeah, King Diamond's on Clerks 2.
Oh, there it is. Number 4, King Diamond.
Unknown voices!
So, King Diamond fronted Merciful Fate and also went on his own. So, King Diamond is the Alice Cooper of Finland or Norway, right? Denmark. I think it's Denmark. I'm going to go with Denmark.
Today's episode sponsored by Wikipedia and toys from Zoo Tampa.
So, what's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
So, for those tuning in, we're talking about the top 10 greatest heavy metal frontmen of all time. And we're at number 4. Recap. My top 10.
He is born in... King Diamond is born in Copenhagen, Denmark.
Denmark, that was right.
Yeah.
So, to recap, number 10, I had Lemmy. He had Chester.
And Mike Chioda.
And Mike Chioda.
I edited it.
So, number 9, he had David Draymond. And I had James Hetfield. Number 8, he had Brian Johnson. I had Rob Halford. Number 7, he had James Hetfield, and I had Jonathan Davis. Number 6, he had Jonathan Davis, and I had Rob Zombie. Number 5, he had Lemmy Kilmister, and I had Bruce Dickinson. And number 4,
I had Rob Halford.
He had Rob Halford, and now I have King Diamond. I've seen King Diamond live, and his theatrics... Hi, Mom. His theatrics are absolutely phenomenal. Obviously not as big as in the States, and not everybody might know him in the States. But King Diamond has been doing it almost as long as Metallica, Iron Maiden. King Diamond has been doing it for a long time. Thrash, black metal, I don't know what you want to call it. He's got the voice of a screeching banshee.
Like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
How anyone can sing like that is amazing. And here's the other part is he actually sounds like that live.
Yeah.
And his theatrics are it's just great. He'll have what kind of props, and they bring the stage props, and he pushes grandma off the stairs, and he's got the skeleton microphone, and he sings it. He's got the top hat, and he's got the face paint, and it was one of the best concerts I ever went. I saw him at Janice Landing, and oh my god, nice. He was so freaking good. I took a friend of mine at the time who was actually big into more rap and ICP, and even he was listening to music. He's like, "Oh my god, I can't. Like this stuff is just too much for me." So he went to the concert anyway because he likes to, get all wild and crazy, typical crazy white boy. And
your mom likes your shirt.
Yeah, my wife and Xenia picked it. So,
thank you.
He went there and became a King Diamond fan. Like the show was so great, the performance was so great, and the crowd went wild, and he loved it. So, King Diamond's one of those that can make you a believer. Manatees.
I have one for you and one for Daddy.
We have manatees now.
Oh, my mom says hi.
Manatees are metal. Hi, Ceci.
All right, so now we're in the top 3.
Okay. King Diamond. King Diamond is awesome. The only reason I didn't pick it is because, again, I've heard them. I like them. I haven't heard enough of them. You want me to show this off too? Sure, baby. So we have a unicorn here, which is really cute and off topic, but whatever. King Diamond is only not on my list simply because I haven't heard enough of them, and so to me it'd be more like a number 12. What is it, honey?
It's a baby frog.
A baby frog? Okay, I'll show the baby.
Then you can take care of it.
I totally won't eat this baby frog. I won't do that. I will totally not. Baby frog. It is cute. It is cute. Okay. Now we have my number 3.
Gummy bears.
Okay. All right, I will show your gummy bears. Then I got to get back to my list, buddy. So you give me that one too. Okay. Baby's distracted for a minute. Gummy bears. Okay, number 3, Bruce Dickinson, because John's a dumbass.
I knew it.
Yes,
He had to be on the list.
it's
He
right
had
here.
to be on the list.
It's right here, as clear as can see, over his head. Over his head. You know, it's just like, although my handwriting is chicken scratch, so I guess that might be it. And once again, he's my number 3, which means I love him more than you do.
You do.
So Bruce Dickinson, again, awesome. Bruce Dickinson is, I think it's the voice for me. It's just song, like he's a good singer, and it's also, but he can bellow and rock out with you. He's the metal guy. I can actually sing pretty well in karaoke.
What are you sniffing?
Fuck you. I don't care. I don't need your approval. I don't care. Because when Aces High comes on, I start singing it. Because it's that freaking great. Because I live to fly to live, Aces High. I don't care. It's that freaking awesome. He tells stories. He talks about history. He invokes the spirit of Winston Churchill in his music, and he has a demon monster creature that's named after me. Bruce Dickinson's great. It's freaking great. I know it. John knows it. Xenia knows it. This manatee knows it. Bruce Dickinson.
So no arguments there.
What inferior choice you have number 3? What inferior?
Probably
person?
is going to be your number 1.
Preposterous.
So my number 3 is Ronnie James Dio. And
I must whip myself, for I have sinned against my Lord.
I like Bruce's voice better.
Yeah.
But again, we're talking about frontmen. Dio, for the longest, and probably still is, we're talking about it, that has been like the biggest competition for Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
Dio, he invented this.
Yeah.
So
he didn't actually,
metal person.
He didn't invent it. He co-opted it and kind of redeemed it. This is the evil eye, which was a curse, an Italian curse that people would throw at each other.
Or to protect yourself from it.
Yeah, and he took it and made it metal and made it rock, and it just means he took it and turned it into what I would say is a positive symbol. And now it just means you rock. That's what it means. It's like he took that and turned it into something good.
So that has become iconic.
Yeah.
And he...
I taught Alex how to do that. I taught baby Alex how to do that. And
That's great.
And Shakira got really mad at me. It's just like, but he started doing it like, yeah, it's like, Sandy, do the devil horns. Do this, Sandy. She'll do it in a minute.
So yeah, he's credited for that. His voice is pretty close to Bruce Dickinson. He's very animated, just like Mr. Osborne. He's great. He passed too soon. I was the only one that was able to follow Ozzy with Black Sabbath and actually have a classic album. There wasn't another lineup besides Ozzy and Sabbath that had another classic album.
Yeah.
I mean, they were so good they became their own band, and heaven and hell.
Yeah.
So rest in power, Ronnie James Dio. He was great. He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
One of the
Dio
coolest
still
people
rocks
ever. I mean, this guy's so cool that he actually had a bald head and long hair and got away with it.
Yeah. Dio may have passed, but he still rocks with us in our heart. And there's a chicken. The baby demands that we show a chicken. There's a chicken. That chicken is almost as awesome as Ronnie James Dio. But I didn't pick Ronnie James Dio on my list because I feel so. Who's better than Ronnie James Dio is of course Michael Bolton, because when a man loves a woman is what I thrash out to, and so he's not there. Number 2, my number 2 is Ozzy Osbourne. So in terms of Ozzy, in terms of the Kirk-esque Picard type debate of who's better, Ozzy or Dio. For me, Ozzy would be number 2. I guess he'd be my Kirk. I'm more of a Picard man. I of course like William Shatner, but my heart is with Sir Patrick Stewart, but he's also with Ben Sisko. Ben Sisko is my personal favorite captain. That has nothing to do with this list, however. But Ozzy Ozzy's really good. Ozzy, whereas Ronnie talks more about dragons and witches and things like that, which is more my scene and what I like. Ozzy is again, we'll get very personal, which I like. Ozzy also loves Aleister Crowley. For him, it's always like, to me, Ozzy always feels like he talks about something more personal, or he goes into like kind of his own like more darker fantasy. He likes Aleister Crowley. He likes talking to more kind of like gothic horror type stuff. And of course, amazing frontman for Black Sabbath. And again, as we talked about last time, because I'm dumb and VH1 overhead to educate me, all that was like written by Tony Iommi.
Geezer Butler.
Geezer Butler. Damn it.
Tony Iommi wrote he was the guitarist.
Give me a baby, buddy. I need a baby.
It's in pound.
I'll take it because I need it right now.
It's in pound.
I'm stupid.
It's in pound.
You love me, don't you, Kanga? Yes, you do. Geezer Butler wrote all that, and Giger's an amazing writer. But I think the best person to carry that message and that story was really was Ozzy. Like again, when Dio was part of Black Sabbath, Dio kind of wrote his own stuff, which I of course love. But really, the best person to carry Geezer Butler's message and like a lot of the political commentary he was making, I think goes to Sabbath, and that's one of the best things I remember Ozzy for. I love Ozzy. Ozzy's never, like, in terms of the debate of who's better of Black Sabbath, I probably would go more with Dio, but like Ozzy commands that respect for me so much that it's like he's always going to be up there. He's always going to be like he may not be at the top of the mountain, but he's close. He's like, I love Ozzy. And Ozzy's just he's a fun guy. He's also kind of wild. We know he's had trouble with like, drugs for much of his life. But it's just, again, he's also the type of guy that I would just love to have a beer with. I think he'd just be really fun to hang with. I think if I hung with Ozzy, I'd get into a lot of trouble. I've heard about some of the stuff he gets up to, like apparently just stealing taxi cabs. That's one interview I heard about. Ozzy's awesome. Ozzy's my number 2, and we have a flamingo now. Because this is because you know what? Who cares who's the best heavy metal frontman? We're just going to show you every single toy that Xenia ever got from Zoo Tampa, because flamingos, because they're cute. So because we know who the real boss is. It's not us.
So my number 2 is the evolution of Ozzy Osbourne. This guy is probably the most horrifying figure in show business. Yes. And that's Marilyn Manson. So you picked him as one of your greatest bands of all time, which
and for real, no joke this time, I literally did not pick Marilyn Manson on this list this time.
Why you didn't pick Marilyn Manson?
I think
Marilyn Manson's like forte is being a great frontman.
Yeah,
his voice sounds exactly the same live as it does on wax. He changes costumes like a Broadway performer, constantly changing costumes. His songwriting, he does concept albums. So he did this whole political thing with the Antichrist Superstar because, he felt that politicians are the devil themselves. Mechanical Animals, the whole God is dead type of thing, and that technology's taking over. And he did the whole androgynous thing where he had boobs and stuff.
Cindy, why don't you come over here and do that so we can be a little closer? We don't have to reach across.
Okay.
And then
Thank you.
Hollywood, he dressed up as like a gothic pope. I mean, I saw him live. He's phenomenal live. Absolutely phenomenal live. Seen a lot of videos of him live. May not be able to handle it. Some people might even get scared. But to me, that's a testament how great he is if he can actually scare you. So, number 2, Marilyn Manson. You suck for not putting him out.
Yeah, I have a kangaroo. I have a moose now.
Squishy, guys. So squish them.
It's great, Sandy.
So who's your number 1? I wonder who.
Well, no, I gotta say my piece on Marilyn Manson. So yes, Marilyn Manson is not on my top 10.
Boo!
Fair enough.
Uncle Eddie.
Okay.
Uncle Eddie.
Zenny, you're killing me here, Zenny.
Now just give you the toys.
Okay, all right. I'm good,
You
Zenny.
didn't move fast enough. You would have got here at 7. We would have made it.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so Marilyn Manson was on my top 10 metal bands, but not on my top 10 heavy metal frontmen. Okay, come here. Get over. Get over. Get over. Get over.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Now you're on the show. Cool baby. All right. He's on my top metal bands and not my frontmen because I really do like them as a band.
You can get the baby.
Okay. I'm gonna feed all these to sharks.
Who's on the ladybug? Ladybug drop.
Okay. I really like them more as a metal band than I like him as a frontman. He is awesome as a frontman for every reason that John just listed.
Oh, Star Killer is finally watching
There's
us.
Bring them on camera. Bring the toys on camera. I've been doing that. Josh. See, every time she gives me a baby, I do it. I can't even finish a thought.
Josh was not saying to bring him on camera. Facebook is saying to bring him on camera.
What is it saying then?
It's just saying he's watching.
Oh, he's watching. Okay. All right.
On paper.
Make funny jokes, Josh.
Put on paper.
Oh my god. Okay, so I think they're better as a rock band. Like I like him better as a band and like a concept for every reason. He is a great frontman for every reason that John listed. But I mean, I kind of like them more as a band. When it comes to like frontmen, they're just people I like more. So that's why I didn't pick Marilyn Manson as my frontman. And before the baby,
Makes absolutely no sense.
probably doesn't. And before the baby pours a bunch of toys on me and I can't talk. Number 1, I'm predictable. Ronnie James Dio. Ronnie James Dio. He's my favorite. He's my favorite band of all time. I don't care what you say. Dio is a band. It counts. It's awesome. I'm at work right now, but I'll watch as long as I can. Cool.
Thought he was.
Yeah. All right.
I was right about that.
He's my favorite band. He's my favorite frontman. Ronnie James Dio. Ronnie James Dio is the only midget that could like scream and sing like a 500-pound black woman. Ronnie James Dio is
That's a good one.
Ronnie James Dio. I stole it from Razor Fist. Ronnie James Dio is like he sings about dragons and witches. He tells a story. He tells these awesome fantasy stories, and he also freaking like has a deeper meaning behind it. There's a message in everything. There's something you can learn from everything. Dio is the man. Dio is the man. We are the last in line. This is your life. This is your time. What if the flame don't last forever? There's always something there. Every decision made on his albums is like planned and choreographed. The Chain Devil from Holy Diver. The Chain Devil from Holy Diver throwing a priest into the water. It's like he talks about that. What is that? He leaves it to people. Dio is awesome. Starkiller, you're right. Dio is awesome. Thank you, Josh.
He's my number 3. It's not like
Yeah.
I didn't believe him.
I love him more than you do.
You do?
I love him more than you do.
You do.
Yes.
I have a baby.
Listen, Zenny. Listen.
I love Marilyn Manson more than you do.
Oh, baby can escape.
I love King Diamond more than you
I'm
do.
trying to go
Tickle the baby. Tickle the baby.
I love Rob Zombie more than you do.
That's fine. Listen, when he's throwing the priest in the water, is that a demon killing a good person, or is that a demon killing an angel, or is that an angel killing a demon? You think about that. He thought about it, and beyond Black Sabbath. When he's the front man, he goes and other things. It's awesome. Dio is Eddie's Ozzy. Yes, he is my Ozzy. He's freaking like Angry Machines. Like everything, anything he did on Sabbath, like the Mob Rules, Dehumanizer, it's fucking amazing. Magica is great. Magica, he tells a story that's like it's a album experience, and just all the way. He even has a Christmas song. He does a version of God Rest You Very Gentlemen, and it's the most metal thing ever, and it's awesome. And I have a sea turtle.
I would love to hear that.
Oh, it's freaking great. I'll show it to you once we're done.
Oh my god, it's one of my favorite Christmas songs of all time.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Okay, and I have a bee, a sea turtle, and 2 lizards, and Dio's the best. Number 1.
So
your pick is automatically wrong. Go ahead.
So number 1, Ozzy Osbourne. Obviously, I love Ozzy Osbourne more than he does, and I do feel out of the
Kirk versus Picard all over again. It's Kirk versus Picard.
Ozzy is heavy metal. So Ozzy was the
Go ahead and
first
pick your
face-
pirate choice, Captain Kirk. I have an officer and a statesman, Picard. That's what I have.
Okay, so Ozzy fronted the first heavy metal band of all time, Black Sabbath. Dio did do a great job, but no one could beat Ozzy Osbourne's voice. Was very haunting and was the first voice to break through to the genre. Black Sabbath with Ozzy created several genres, whereas Black Sabbath with Dio was pretty much Dio, with Tony Iommi playing for him and Geezer Butler playing for him. When you had, they created doom metal together. They created Christian metal together, the heavy metal, thrash metal, and we're talking about.
I'm shocked. What? I'm shocked, says Josh.
Ozzy Osbourne, nobody could be his fringe game, not even John Wayne. I mean, we're talking about jumping up in the air, the hand claps, going fucking crazy. When he went in his solo career, he took it to another level. I mean, he was literally biting animals' heads off.
Because he was that high at the time.
But still.
Whereas Dio was able to smoke a joint and have a beer before the show and not do things like that. I'm just saying.
Just saying. Rock and roll is...
But what makes Ozzy special is that that's Ozzy. And I salute and respect Ozzy as your number one. Even though he's my number two.
So, and I mean, I definitely respect Dio. But
where's the body on this rabbit? Looks like Ozzy was here.
Ozzy's solo career, chart-wise, was probably better than anybody on this list. Ozzy's soul went diamond like several times. So, Ozzy Osbourne. No, he was the cure for COVID-19. He didn't create COVID-19. He's the cure for COVID-19.
Ozzy is the cure for COVID-19.
Yeah, they sucked his blood out and put it in the shot. I know because I went crazy after I took the shot.
Ozzy, well, that happened to me too. Yeah, that's the Johnson & Johnson shot. Like his blood is haunted and it scares the virus away. So that's why y'all get vaccinated. We're living in two Americas right now. The new strain is dangerous out there, so everybody go out and get vaccinated. Anybody that tells you, oh, it's going to do... No, it's bullshit. The vaccination's fine. We turned out okay. Shut up. Well, go get vaccinated.
Yeah. Well, anybody. So while we have you on here, Josh, are you going to do McDonald's, the good, the bad, and the ugly with us?
You have to. It's the law. You are doing this, Josh. If I'm going to come out here and talk about how fat I am, you're going to come out here and talk about how fat you are, and it's I demand it. And Zenya's squishy toys also want you to come here and talk about fat in McDonald's. So get up here. Get up here.
Still don't have a response. I wonder if they had to put him back.
He's hiding now. He's hiding.
Yeah,
because he doesn't. I can't believe you're doing a McDonald's list. Neither can I.
It's not a list.
No! I'm gonna have to make a video essay, Josh. I don't know how to do a video essay, but I guess here we go.
It's not a list.
I don't have an editor. Yeah. Oh, what am I, Frederick Knudsen now? I'm gonna do it down the rabbit hole of McDonald's. It's bullshit. Top 10 heart clogging meals.
You can do that. That can be your segment.
Oh, good. We have segments now. We have segments for McDonald's. I don't know what's going to happen, and the show's over because the baby... Okay, baby, you can't push the thing forward, okay? You messed up the show.
We're back. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. Top 10 heavy metal frontmen. Don't know the next episode is going to be the top 10 greatest hard rock bands of all time, or...
We have hard rock, or...
McDonald's, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
How about hard rock? Because I can... it means I can put off the McDonald's one for another week.
I just want to come up with some ideas because they're scared of talking about McDonald's.
I guess we're going to have to do the McDonald's now. So, this was cool. Thank you, sir. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Josh.
All right.
Okay.
Peace.
And we're heading out.